Superheroes are good, right? They are selfless and pro-social and they treat others well. Unless they're dealing with a supervillain, of course. But they are moral. Supervillains, on the other hand, are selfish, antisocial, and immoral. Anti-heroes are a bit ambiguous and fall in between. They can look like heroes, but usually when it works out for them. We like heroes. Humans tend to prefer morally right and even morally ambiguous characters over immoral characters such as supervillains. But does our opinion on our beloved heroes change once they make mistakes? Do we still like the heroes after they commit a immoral or ambiguous act? A 2015 study found that participants tend to prefer people who are morally ambiguous rather than people who are more antisocial. The participants in this study had to read a story about a detective. In one story, the detective stole substances from a crime scene. While interrogating a suspect, the suspect became unwell and the detective neglected to do anything, leading to his death. The other story was the same, so the detective did steal the goods, but they did help out the suspect as well. Participants reported liking the detective in story 1 more. This is all super logical. People like good people. A 2019 study confirmed this using Star Wars characters. They found that viewers grew parasocial relationships with characters. Specifically, their relationship with heroes such as Luke Skywalker and Leia were significantly stronger than their relationship with villains like Kylo Ren and Snoke. Although people prefer heroes, Conan and Horn found in 2005 that characters with a mix of both good and bad traits fascinate people as well. When we look at the concepts of superheroes and villains and their morally relevant actions, we focus on our own evaluations of their actions in the given context. Context is important because it shows us the intention behind behavior. We are more likely to view an act as acceptable when it's done for altruistic reasons, rather than selfish reasons. When Batman leaves an injured Robin behind to save another child in a burning building first, we accept that. When Batman leaves an injured Robin behind because he wants to focus on his own mission, we do not accept that. So yes, the intention behind morally questionable behavior influences how we view said behavior. A similar pattern can be observed regarding outcome. We're okay with certain behavior if the outcome is positive compared to when the outcome is negative. If Batman leaves Robin behind while he's injured, but Robin survives and recovers fast, we're okay with that. However, if Robin were to die, yeah, we're not so fine with that. So, we know humans tend to like characters more if they commit moral actions and have good intentions that aren't selfish. But that's not all that makes us like characters such as Superman or Spider-Man. A 2015 and 2018 study found that we attribute certain traits to both heroes and villains. Heroes are warmer, while villains are more duplicitous according to those participants. Heroes don't have facial scars and are associated with lighter colors. Characters who fit into that description elicit higher levels of perceived moral upholding. We see a friendly face in bright colors and assume that this character acts morally. Interestingly, the participants in those two studies did not attribute the trait competence to either heroes or villains. People place more value on how characters treat others than their individual abilities. Superman is not a hero because he has freezing breath, laser eyes, flight, or super strength. What's important is how he treats the citizens of Metropolis. Another aspect that influences how much we like a character is how realistic they are. Superheroes don't tend to be realistic at all, but I suppose realistic elements could contribute to our appreciation for characters. It could partially explain why people tend to prefer Batman over Superman. I have no scientific evidence for this, so I did a quick Instagram poll to ask which of the two people tend to prefer, and I left it up for about 21 hours, and in the time I got exactly 500 responses and 80% of them did prefer Batman, so We just established that we tend to prefer the moral, altruistic superheroes with good intentions. But does that mean we treat them differently? Do we let them get away with immoral behavior that we despise in supervillains? When measuring this in a 2024 study, the researchers used items to describe physical harm, psychological harm, and unfair treatment committed by a superhero. Physical harm included items such as intentionally harming a supervillain after the villain had been defeated, and refusing to help a bystander who was accidentally harmed by a supervillain's actions. Psychological harm included items like berating a sidekick for failing to follow instructions and mocking a supervillain after the villain had been defeated. Unfair treatment, including bribing a law enforcement official to receive valuable information to further their cause, or lying in order to locate a supervillain. When the participants had to evaluate heroes and villains on their morality, the transgressions committed by the superheroes were less morally permissible. This was the case for both physical harm, psychological harm, and unfair treatment. Although unfair treatment was only evaluated this way by Indian participants. American participants did not find unfair treatment significantly less morally acceptable. This does mean that superheroes were evaluated more negatively than supervillains for committing the same acts. So we are actually more strict towards the heroes. Not only are we more strict towards them, evaluating their wrongdoings or morally ambiguous behavior makes us like them less. In this study, participants had to rate heroes and villains before and after evaluating their transgressions. They reported liking a hero more before they evaluated their violations. This video focused on the moral behavior of superheroes. But if you're interested in how comics can influence your own moral development, I suggest you watch this video next. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!